Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. What if I told you there are 3 magic words that can instantly make women feel drawn to you? And no, I'm not talking about I love you. This is something even more powerful, something that taps into a deep emotional need most people don't even realize they have. And these 3 words are like a secret key to creating an instant connection. Whether you're on a first date, talking to someone new, or trying to reignite the spark in a long-term relationship, let me paint you a picture of, imagine you're out for coffee with a woman you've been wanting to get to know better. The conversation is flowing, she's laughing at your jokes, and there's this undeniable chemistry between you. But then you say these 3 magic words, and suddenly her eyes light up. She leans in closer, and you can feel the energy between you. You shift, it's like you've unlocked a hidden level of connection that wasn't there before. Here's the thing, these words aren't about manipulation or playing games, they're not some cheap pickup line or trick. They're about creating a genuine emotional connection that makes her feel seen, heard, and valued. They tap into something deep inside her and need to feel understood and appreciated, and when you say these words, it's like you're speaking directly to her heart. But here's the catch. Most people don't even realize the power of these words. They go through life, missing opportunities to connect because they don't know what to say or how to say it. And then that's where this video comes in. Today, I'm going to reveal exactly what those 3 magic words are, or why they work and how you can start using them in your own life. Whether you're looking to attract someone new, deepen an existing relationship, or just become a better communicator. This video is for you, so if you're ready to unlock the secret to creating instant connections, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to say and why it works. Let's dive in. Hey, everyone, Adam Stone here from Esto, Extreme, your ultimate destination for practical wisdom, personal growth, and mastering the art of relationships. If you're new here, first of all, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This channel is all about cutting through the noise, ditching the fluff, and focusing on what actually works in life. Love and everything in between whether you're looking to improve your relationships, build confidence, or just become the best version of yourself. You're in the right place. And if you've been here before, welcome back. It's always great to see you. I truly appreciate every single one of you who takes the time to watch these videos, leave comments, and be part of us, community. Your support means the world to me. And I'm here to make sure you get the most value out of every video. Now let's talk about today's topic, because this one is a game share. We're diving into the 3 magic words that can instantly make women feel drawn to you. And before you roll your eyes and think, oh, another gimmick, let me stop you right there. This isn't about manipulation, pickup lines, or playing games. This is about understanding human psychology, creating genuine connections, and tapping into the emotional needs that drive attraction. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a networking event, and I struck up a conversation with someone who was incredibly charismatic. Within minutes, I felt like we had known each other for years. And you know what? It wasn't because they were the most attractive person in the room, or because they had the most impressive job title. It was because of the way they made me feel. They used these 3 magic words, sometimes directly, sometimes subtly, and it completely changed the dynamic of our conversation. That experience stuck with me. And I started noticing how these words showed up. If in all kinds of relationships, romantic, professional, even friendships. And the more I studied it, the more I realized how powerful these words can be. They're not just words, they're tools for creating connection, building trust, and making people feel valued. Whether you're single and looking to meet someone new in a relationship and wanting to deepen your connection, or just curious about how communication works, this video is for you. I've spent years studying human behavior communication and what makes relationships truly work. And today, I'm sharing everything I've learned with you. So if you're ready to unlock the secret to creating instant connections, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Section 1. The power of emotional connection action. All right, before we get into the 3 magic words, let's talk about why they work at the core of every strong connection. Whether it's romantic, platonic, or professional, his emotional intimacy. This is the glue that holds relationships together. It's what makes people feel seen, heard, and understood. And it's what these 3 magic words are designed to tap into. Let me break this down for you. Think about the last time you felt truly connected to someone. What was it about that interaction that made you feel that way? Chances are it wasn't just the words they said, it was the way they made you feel. Maybe they listened to you without judgment, validated your feelings, or made you feel like you were the only person in the room. That's emotional connection in action. Now here's the thing. Emotional connection isn't just about making someone feel good in the moment. It's about creating a sense of safety and trust that allows the relationship to grow and deepen over time. When someone feels emotionally connected to you, they're more likely to open up, be vulnerable, and invest in the relationship. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're on a date and the conversation is flowing. You're talking about your favorite travel destinations, and she mentions a trip she took that was really meaningful to her. Instead of just nodding along or changing the subject, you say something like that. Sounds amazing. What was it about that trip that made it so special for you? Do you see what just happened? You didn't just acknowledge her story, you invited her to share something personal. You showed her that you're genuinely interested in her experiences and her feelings, and that's what emotional connection is all about. Here's another example. Let's say you're to party and you're talking to someone new. They mentioned that they've been feeling stressed lately. Instead of offering unsolicited advice or brushing it off, you say something like that. Sounds really tough. How have you been handling it again? You're not just listening, you're showing empathy. You're letting them know that you care about how they feel, not just what they're saying. And that's a powerful way to build connection. Now, let's talk about why this matters when you create an emotional connection with someone. You're tapping into a deep human need. We all want to feel understood, valued, and appreciated. And when someone meets that need for us, we're naturally drawn to them. That's why these 3 magic words are so powerful. They're not just words, they're tools for creating emotional connection. They show the other person that you see them, you hear them, and you value them. And when you do that, you create a bond that goes beyond surface level attraction. But here's the catch. Emotional connection doesn't happen by accident. It requires intention, effort, and a willing to be present. It's about putting your phone down, making eye contact, and really listening to what the other person is saying. It's about asking thoughtful questions, showing empathy, and being genuinely curious about their experiences. And let me give you one more example. Imagine you're out for coffee with someone, and they're telling you about a challenge they're facing at work, instead of jumping in with advice or trying to one-up their story. You say something like, that sounds really frustrating. How are you feeling about it again? You're not just listening, you're creating a space for them to share their emotions, and that's where true connection happens. So as we dive into these 3 magic words, keep this in mind. It's not just about what you say it's about how you make the other person feel. When you focus on creating emotional connection, everything else falls into place. And here's a pro tip: emotional connection is a 2-way street. It's not just about making the other person feel good. It's about being open and vulnerable yourself. When you share your own thoughts, feelings, and experiences, you create a sense of reciprocate that strengthens the bond between you. So as we move into the next section, remember, This emotional connection is the foundation of every strong relationship. And these 3 magic words are your tools for building that connection. Let's dive in. Section 2. The first magic word, you all, right? Let's dive into the first magic word. I know what you're thinking. Oh wait, that's it. Just the word you. But here's the thing, this word is so much more powerful than it seems. When you use it intentionally, it shifts the focus of the conversation onto the other person, making them feel seen, valued, and appreciated. And that's where the magic happens. Let me break this down for you. Think about the last time someone made you feel truly special. What did they say or do? Chances are they focused on you. They asked about your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences. They made you feel like you were the most important person in the room. And that's exactly what the word you can do when used correctly. Here's an example. Imagine you're on a date and you're talking about your favorite hobbies. Instead of just talking about yourself, you turn the conversation back to her by saying something. Specific hobby. Do you see what just happened? You didn't just talk about yourself. You showed genuine interest in her. You made her feel like her thoughts and experiences matter. And that's a powerful way to create connection. Now let's talk about why this works. When you focus the conversation on the other person, you're tapping into a deep human need, the need to feel seen and understood. We all want to feel like we matter, like our thoughts and feelings are important. And when you use the word you intentionally, you're meeting that need. Here's another example. Let's say you're at a social event and you're talking to someone new. They mention that they've been working on a big project at work. Instead of just saying, that's cool, you say something like, you must be really proud of that. What's been the most rewarding part of the project for you? Again, you're not just acknowledging their story, you're inviting them to share something personal. You're showing them that you're genuinely interested in their experiences and their feelings. And that's what creates connection now. Now let's talk about context. The word you is most powerful when it's used in a way that feels natural and authentic. It's not about peppering every sentence with you. It's about using it intentionally to show genuine interest and curiosity. For example, let's say you're out for coffee with someone and they're telling you about their favorite book. Instead of just saying, that's a great book, you could say you have such great taste in books. What do you love most about that story? Do you see you're not just complimenting them, you're inviting them to share something personal. You're showing them that you value their opinion and their perspective. And here's another key point: tone and delivery. When you use the word, you pay attention to how you say it. Are you smiling? Are you making eye contact? Are you leaning in a little closer? These non-verbal cues are just as important as the words themselves. They're your way of saying, I'm genuinely interested in you. Let me give you one more example. Imagine you're at a party and you're talking to someone about their recent vacation. Instead of just saying, that sounds fun, you say something like, you must have had an amazing time. What was your favorite part of the trip again? You're not just acknowledging their story, you're creating a space for them to share something meaningful. And that's where connection happens. So the next time you're in a conversation, try using the word. You intentionally focus on the other person. Person show genuine interest in their thoughts and feelings, and watch how the dynamic of the conversation changes. And here's a pro tip. Don't just use you in questions. Use it in statements too, for example. Instead of saying, I love this restaurant, you could say, you have such great taste. How did you find this place? This shifts the focus onto them and makes them feel valued. Remember, the word you is a powerful tool for creating connection. When you use it intentionally, you show the other person that you see them, you hear them, and you value them. And that's the foundation of every strong relationship. Section 3. The second magic word, feel. All right, let's move on to the second magic word, feel. Now this one is a game share, while the word you helps you focus the conversation on the other person. The word feel takes it a step further by tapping into their emotions. And here's why that's so powerful. Emotions are the G-way to connection. When you ask someone how they feel, you're inviting them to open up and share something personal. You're showing them that you care about their inner world, not just the surface level details. Let me break this down for you. Think about the last time someone asked you how you were feeling, not just how are you passing, but really asked, how did it make you feel? It made you feel seen, heard, and valued, and that's exactly what the word feel can do when used intentionally. Here's an example. Imagine you're on a date and she's telling you about a challenging situation at work. Instead of just saying, that sounds tough, you say something like that. Sounds really stressful. How are you feeling about it? Do you see what just happened? You didn't just acknowledge her situation. You invited her to share her emotions. You showed her that you care about how she's feeling, not just what's happening, and that's a powerful way to create connection. Now, let's talk about why this works. Emotions are the most personal and vulnerable part of who we are. When you ask someone how they feel, you're showing them that you're interested in their inner world. You're creating a safe space for them to open up and be themselves, and that's where true connection happens. Here's another example. Let's say you're at a social event and you're talking to someone who's been through a tough breakup. Instead of just saying, that's rough, you say something like, that sounds really hard. How are you feeling about everything now? Again, you're not just acknowledging their story, you're inviting them to share their emotions. You're showing them that you care about their healing process, not just the facts of what happened now. Let's talk about context. The word feel is most powerful when it's used in a way that feels natural and empathetic. It's not about forcing someone to open up, it's about creating a safe space for them to do so. If they choose, for example, let's say you're out for coffee with someone and they're telling you about a recent achievement. Instead of just saying, that's awesome, you could say, that's amazing. How does it feel to have accomplished that? Do you see the difference? You're not just congratulating them. You're inviting them to share their emotions. You're showing them that you care about how they're experiencing their success, not just the success itself. And here's another key point: tone and delivery. When you use the word feel, pay attention to how you say it. Are you speaking softly? Are you making eye contact? Are you leaning in a little closer? These non-verbal cues are just as important as the words themselves. They're your way of saying, I'm here for you and I care about how you feel. Let me give you one more example. Imagine you're at a party and you're talking to someone who's been feeling overwhelmed lately. Instead of just saying, that sounds tough, you say something like, that sounds really overwhelming. How are you feeling about everything? Again, you're not just acknowledging their situation, you're creating a space for them to share their emotions, music, and that's where connection happens. So the next time you're in a conversation, try using the word feel intentionally. Ask thoughtful questions, show empathy, and create a safe space for the other person to open up. And here's a pro tip. Don't just use feeling questions. Use it in statements too, for example. Instead of saying, that's a great story, you could say, I can only imagine how exciting that must felt for you. This shows that you're thinking about their emotions and not just the story itself. Remember, the word feel is a powerful tool for creating emotional connection. When you use it intentionally, you show the other person that you care about their inner world, not just the surface level details, and that's the foundation of every strong relationship section for the third magic word. Because, all right, let's dive into the third and final magic word, because now this one might seem a little unexpected, but trust me, it's just as powerful as the others. While the word you helps you focus the conversation on the other person, and the word feel taps into their emotions. The word because adds depth, reasoning, and intentionality to your words. It's the secret sauce that makes your compliment statements and questions feel more meaning and memorable. Let me break this down for you. Think about the last time someone gave you a compliment that really stuck with you. What did they say? Chances are they didn't just say, "You're great." They gave you a reason. They said something like "you're great," because you always know how to make people feel comfortable. That little word because turns a generic compliment into something personal and impactful. Here's an example. Imagine you're on a date and you want to compliment her. Instead of just saying, "You're amazing," you say something like "you are." You're amazing because you have such a unique way of looking at the world. Do you see what just happened? You didn't just give her a compliment. You gave her reason to believe it. You showed her that you've been paying attention to who she is and what makes her special. And that's a powerful way to create connection. Now let's talk about why this works, the word, because it adds depth and intentionality to your words. It shows that you're not just saying something to be nice, you're saying it because you mean it. And when someone feels like your words are genuine and thoughtful, they're more likely to feel seen, valued, and appreciated. Here's another example. Let's say you're at a social event and you're talking to someone who's just given a presentation. Instead of just saying, "Great job," you say something like "great job" because you explained such a complex topic in a way that was easy to understand. Again, you're not just acknowledging their effort, you're showing them that you noticed the specific things they did well. And that's a powerful way to create connection. Now let's talk about context, the word, because it is most powerful when it's used in a way that feels natural and authentic. It's not about overloading every sentence with reasons. It's about using it intentionally to add depth and meaning to your words. For example, let's say you're out for coffee with someone and they're telling you about a recent achievement. Instead of just saying, "That's awesome," you could say that's awesome because I know how hard you've been working on that. Do you see the difference? Feel more personal and meaningful. And here's another key point: tone and delivery when you use the word, because pay attention to how you say it. Are you speaking with sincerity? Are you making eye contact? Are you smiling? These non-verbal cues are just as important as the words themselves. They're your way of saying, "I mean this, and I want you to know it." Let me give you one more example. Imagine you're at a party and you're talking to someone who's been feeling unsure about a decision they made. Instead of just saying "you made the right choice," you say something like "you made the right choice because you trusted your instincts." And that's something I really admire about you again. You're not just reassuring them, you're giving them a reason to feel confident in their decision. You're showing them that you see their strengths and value their perspective. So the next time you're in a conversation, try using the word, because intentionally add depth and reasoning to your compliment-meant statements. And questions show the other person that your words are thoughtful and genuine. And here's a pro tip. Don't just use, because in compliments, use it in questions too. For example, instead of saying, "Why did you choose that career?" you could say, "What made you choose that career?" because it seems like such a perfect fit for you. This shows that you're thinking about their choices and what makes them unique. Remember the word, because it is a powerful tool for adding depth and intentionality to your words. When you use it intentionally, you show the other person that you're paying attention, that you care, and that your words are genuine, and that's the foundation of every strong relationship. Section 5, putting it all together. All right? Now that we've broken down the 3 magic words you feel. And because let's talk about how to put them all together in real life conversations. Because here's the thing. These words aren't just powerful on their own, they're unstoppable. When you combine them, let me walk you through an example. Imagine you're on a date and she's telling you about a recent trip she took. Instead of just nodding along or saying something generic like, "That sounds fun," you could say something like this: "You have such an amazing way of describing things. It feels like I was right there with you. What was it about that trip that made it so special for you?" Because it sounds like it really meant a lot. Do you see what just happened? You used all 3 magic words in one sentence. You focused on her, you tapped into her emotions, feel, and added depth and reasoning. Because you didn't just acknowledge her story, you created a moment of genuine connection. Here's another example. Let's say you're at a social event and you're talking to someone who's been through a tough time, instead of just saying, "That sounds hard," you could say something like this: "You've been through so much, and I can only imagine how challenging that must have felt for you. What's helped you stay strong through it all? Because it's really inspiring to see how resilient you are." Again, you're using all three magic words to create a deeper, more meaningful conversation. You're showing them that you see them, you care about their emotions, and you value their strength and resilience. Now let's talk about why this works. When you combine these three words, you're creating a conversation that's focused, emotional, and intentional. You're showing the other person that you're not just listening, you're truly engaging with them. And that's what makes all the difference. Here's another example. Imagine you're out for coffee with someone, and they're telling you about a recent achievement. Instead of just saying, "That's awesome," you could say something like this: "You must be so proud of yourself. It feels like all your hard work is finally paying off. What's been the most rewarding part of this for you? Because it's such a big accomplishment." Do you see the difference? You're not just congratulating them, you're creating a space for them to reflect on their journey and share their emotions. You're showing them that you care about their experience, not just the outcome. Now let's talk about how to practice this. Start by paying attention to your conversations. Notice when you're talking about yourself versus when you're focusing on the other person. Look for opportunities to ask how they feel or add. Because to your statements, it might feel a little awkward at first, but with practice, it will become second nature. Here's a pro tip. Don't try to force all three words into every sentence. Instead, look for natural opportunities to use them. For example, if someone's telling you about a challenge, they're facing focus on the word feel to show empathy. If they're sharing something they're proud of, use because to add depth to your compliment. And here's another key point: authenticity matters. These words are powerful because they help you create genuine connections, not because they're a script you have to follow if you're not, showing genuine interest in the other person. Let me give you one more example. Imagine you're at a party and you're talking to someone who's been feeling unsure about a decision they made. Instead of just saying, "You made the right choice," you could say something like this: "You made the right choice because you trusted your instincts." And that's something I really admire about you. How does it feel to know you followed your gut? Again, you're using all three magic words to create a deeper, more meaningful conversation. You're showing them that you see their strengths, value their perspective, and care about their emotions. So the next time you're in a conversation, try putting these three magic words together. Focus on the other person, tap into their emotions, and add depth and reasoning to your words. Watch how the dynamic of the conversation changes and how much stronger your connection becomes. Remember, communication is the foundation of every strong relationship, and these three magic words are your tools for building that foundation. Use them intentionally, authentically, and consistently, and you'll see the difference they can make. All right, before we wrap this up, let's talk about you. If you've made it this far into the video, chances are you're someone who's serious about improving your relationship, understanding the people in your life, and becoming the best version of yourself. And that's exactly what this channel is all about. So if you found this video helpful, here's what you can do next. First, hit that like button. It might seem small, but it makes a huge difference. It lets me know that you're enjoying this content, and it helps the YouTube algorithm share this video with more people who need to hear it. Second, leave a comment. I want to hear from you. Have you ever used these magic words without realizing it? Or maybe you've noticed how powerful they can be when someone says them to you? Share your thoughts below. I read every single comment, and I'd love to hear your story. Third, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is your home for practical advice, personal growth, and mastering the art of relationships every week. I drop new videos to help you navigate life, love, and everything in between. And if you hit that bell icon, you'll never miss an upload. And finally, if you're ready to take things to the next level, check out the links in the description. I've put together a free guide with even more tips on how to build stronger connections and understand the people in your life. It's packed with actionable advice that you can start using today. Remember, relationships don't have to be complicated when you know what to say and why it works. Everything becomes clearer. So take what you've learned today, apply it to your life, and watch how things start to change. And don't forget, I'm here to help you every step of the way. Thanks so much for watching, and everyone, I'm Adam Stone from Stoic, and I'm so grateful to have you here. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Relationships are a journey, and I'm here to help you navigate every step of the way. Remember, the right words can create a connection that lasts a lifetime. So take what you've learnt today, put it into action, and don't be afraid to take the next step when the time is right. Until next time, stay curious, stay confident, and keep building those connections. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.